Have a great day.
You too. I'm going to sprinkle some love here on the listeners that are here. Thank you, listeners, for coming in the room. Daryl with the Dashes, I see you here. Christopher John, I'm naming those that I hadn't named. Truthful Sweet, I see you here. Ishmael, LUJ, I see you there. Marcella, Georgia, great. Thank you for the follow. Alyssa Mitchell, thank you for being here. Michael, thank you. And Dan and Wendy, I see you there. Dave's Global Empire, I see you there, and others I've named. Who I saw at the gate first was Hakeem. Hakeem, I'm going to bring you up. I see you there, Dr. Roberts. Hakeem has been waiting in the wings, and so is yourself. And 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Hakeem, for coming in.
Greetings.
Greetings. Yo. What have you heard, or have you read the title before you came in? What you got to say about this California reparation panel? What have you heard, or do I need to drop some narrative?
Well, sip your tea. Everyone who's listening, you're about to choke. I'm wearing my purple on black supervillain cloak. Now,
I'm ready. I'm going to mute and get my tea while I'm listening. Well, shoot away.
Now, I only just woke up and heard Reggie Woodson talking here. And, I heard also, we do know about the history, and we do know about blacks in Africa selling their people into slavery. We do know the history. Some of us do, who care to look at some of that. It's been said sometimes that history is written by the victors, those who won. And for the most part, that's true. There are a lot of things that people do, and those things like just the song you talked about with Nas and Busta Rhymes, that's just what people do. Even Dave Chappelle, on one of his episodes, proudly mocked that, where people would get reparations, and they were doing all kinds of things, just like buying lavish things, and even there was a guy there who bought a baby, and with cash. Who's to say that myself or anybody else in the situation that was happening back in these times where none of us would have sold others into slavery for our own benefit. People are like that. And that's what people do. They're out for their own self-interest. And were it any other way, that's what it would be if Africans were the dominant people at the time who were running around the world and colonizing places. I'm sure that whites would be selling other whites into slavery. And people may know that whites had white slaves, that blacks had black slaves, that people had their own slaves everywhere and so many times, and even now. And even it could be said that having certain jobs is a form of slavery. And I don't know. One thing is that, first of all, to one thing that was said about going over to Africa and seeing how there's no running water or plumbing or all these different amenities and creature comforts. The problem with a lot of people not being able to deal with that or not wanting to go there is because most people are just soft. Most of you can't handle anything. You couldn't handle any kind of hard labor or know how to fix anything, repair anything, build anything. And so therefore that is why most people wouldn't want to go to Africa. People are not industrious. They don't know how to take raw materials and turn it into something else. It's not that there's anything wrong with technology or coming up in the world. It's just that people don't know how to do it. But it could also be said that there are so many inventions and things made by so-called African Americans or blacks in the United States that have gone unnoticed. So many things that were innovated because of the position that people were in. Off the top of my heart, I don't know for sure. It depends on the situation, but I may have sold people into slavery. I may even have slaves myself. I think in a similar way to the trickster god Loki, as he was depicted in the Avengers movie, that I believe that most people in general, it doesn't matter the color of their skin, are bred for slavery, that they're born that way, that they crave subjugation, and that even if they didn't crave subjugation, that they should be anyway, because they don't know how to control themselves or do anything for themselves. So systems of control are put in place because those who want the world to run, and to run as it is, and to make the advancements and do the things that we do, people have to be put in their place, or else they'd be running amok and the planet would probably have exploded already. Because people in general are selfish creatures, and given the opportunity, they would sell or throw anybody under the bus for their own well-being. Creatures of, they're opportunists, and regardless of who, what, when, where, what color and all that, people are going to be people. And if you have darker skinned people or any people with any color skin that are in a dominant position, this situation may well be that way, and we'd be having a different conversation about white people needing to come up now and get their reparations. Might makes right. Those people who are the victors are the ones who wrote the histories. And to the point of might makes right, like I was saying before, whoever was in a dominant position, doesn't matter who it is or what color their skin is, who can say with certainty that, what are we to say, that because people are black or from Africa, that we somehow have a higher moral ground than white people? That if we were in a dominant position, that we would have done anything differently back in the day? You know, there was a group of people in northeastern Africa, the Mamluks, who were actually so-called slaves, but were really the masters. They knew, and they took positions and even took up arms, that without them, their slavers wouldn't be able to survive. Just like it was said that all that the natives, the indigenous people here in the North American continent, had to do in order to wipe out or destroy or to chase off the colonizers, the invaders who came to this country, was to simply not teach them how to feed themselves and to eat off the land and use the land to be able to survive. But they chose to allow themselves to be subjugated, because some people say it's because it was in their nature to be gentle and kind, and so on and so forth. But is that really the case? Why did they allow themselves to be subjugated if they were able to simply wipe out an entire people by not showing them how to feed themselves? What reason, if that were true, who in their right mind, heart, and soul would not do that? Some people come here and bring disease and are killing off your people, raping your women and children, and George Washington, like he was called town destroyer, they were burning down entire towns and villages. Why would they not? I don't know if that piece of history is even true. If somebody had the ability to destroy their conquerors by simply not showing them how to survive, why would they not do such a thing? Some of these things that are said in palliative ways or to make things look like a certain way. But would that really happen? I know that if I saw a way to chase off or to destroy someone who came and made my life a living hell and miserable, I would take that opportunity right away to point that death ray in their direction and neutralize at the very least. And in most cases, I would probably just disintegrate them and burn them all down back. So what we're looking at now with this reparations is simply a matter of the fact that we have such widespread communications. These things have been talked about for years. These things about getting people to be paid back for the suffering they've gone through has been circulating for such a long time. And so we can wonder, why has it not then yet been done? There's all this talking about it. There's been revolutions and civil rights movements and all of these different things done to make things right. And here we are, still, people complaining about their station and position in life. And is it really something about race, or is it really about class? Because there are black people all over the place who are thriving, more than just surviving. And it's simply because they've chosen to take the reins themselves and steer themselves in a direction that is more beneficial to them. Now, one of the problems is not this renaming of things from General Lee and whatnot. As a matter of fact, before I even understood what General Lee was, or who he was, that is, one of my favorite TV shows to watch as a child was The Dukes of Hazzard, and their car was named the General Lee, and in fact it had a Confederate flag painted on it. And when you don't know what certain symbolism means, the Confederate flag just looks like a beautiful symmetrical symbol. Just like a swastika is a beautiful symbol if you don't know what it is. See, it only becomes evil to people and bothersome to people when they know about the meanings and things behind certain things. So the problem is not necessarily what happened in his history necessarily, but the education of people to be able to become industrious and do things for themselves. The problem is largely structural. You know, I was speaking to Christopher Birkenbein the other day. He came up and spoke with me for about an hour a few nights ago, and talked about some very relevant things about how people in certain cultures, that the reason why people do things a certain way is because, one, they simply don't have access to the information. And so a main point to be made here is education. Now, if people knew how to do these things, they would probably do them. If someone knew that they could learn about technology and they really knew about economics and they really knew about building a business, who would not take these advantages and make their lives better? Well, the answer is clear. The same people who have these advantages, whether they be white, black, or anything else, and still don't do it. People, for the most part, a lot of people want things, a lot of people are entitled, but they're not willing to work for it. And that's why they remain to be subjugated. And again, into the point that people lack education and therefore don't do it. Yes, that is a problem. We can call it structural racism or structural whatever. The fact is that a lot of people don't have access to the information. And this is why in cultures, in black cultures, people have no idea how to raise their standard of life or to bring themselves up, because they simply don't know how. They don't even know how it exists. Similar to how there are crusaders or these people, evangelists, or the those who go around and want to convert people to different religions. How someone asks a question, well, those people who don't know what Christianity or Christ is, will they burn in hell because they don't know about it? And so this is why those, those people who want to come and convert people to certain religions, this is why they're there. They go around because they want to teach people. We have to have people going around into the communities and teaching people about Christ, so to speak. And in this case, Christ is education, right? It's the knowledge of how to change your station in life. If there's to be a real solution of any kind, it's for all these people who are in the know and know how to get these things done. The people who have education, the people who have these privileges, the people who have brought themselves up and learned how to do these things, no matter what color they are, to go into communities and teach people that these possibilities, that these opportunities exist. Otherwise, how would they know? So the renaming of things from General Lee to whatever, to anybody's name or what have you, even to putting Harriet Tubman or Rosa Parks or whoever it is they want to put on coins and dollar bills and everything like that. Maybe this is a start to getting people to know who this is. But just like how nowadays people think that, some time ago I heard them talking about, wow, it's so nice of Eminem to be giving this musician a chance that nobody's heard of, and it was like Elton John or something that he did a song with. You see, people have no idea who anybody in history is past 5 years, 10 years. They don't know what's going on. So the solution is not in all of these reparations and things like that, because people can repair, because that's part of what the root word of reparations is, right? People can repair things or even start something new if they only knew how to do it. That is the real crux of the issue here, is not that anybody needs to be given anything back except for education. People need to know. And then, again, when people know, will they actually do anything with it? Not many people would. They would see this, they would see the opportunities before them, and they would still want things to be given to them without having to work for it, because that is the human condition. People are entitled and lazy and weak and soft. For the most part, they won't do anything when given the opportunity. Even if all the schools were equal in all the world and everyone had access to the same education, you would still see a lower class being ruled by another one, because that is what people are.
The mic just dropped. I was still soaking that in. What a backdrop, Hakeem. And can you hear me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. And so I wanted to, go on a slow burn back. I like the way we talked about the reparation. You were talking about that and all the things that you've said. I guess you heard me, hopefully you did, talking about my son and I, what we said as it relates to reparation. I was saying early, what generation, that's my thought. These are my thoughts, okay? And I said this to Wood. What generation, like my mom, her generation is the silent generation that was on the plantation, but weren't necessarily slave, but were doing slave things like picking cotton and picking potatoes, all those slavery type things. I don't know if they got paid or whatever, but that's what they were doing. So what generation are they going to pick first? I just want to ask you that general mindset or thought that I had is, what generation, if there are going to be some reparation, what generation will they pick first?
That's a question that I don't think I have an answer to, who they would choose first. It's really about anyone who's going to take the initiative to see this information and to go apply for it, to go find out how they can get it done. Just the same way, once again, that people just will have opportunities before them and not take them. A lot of people are going to see this information and just ignore it. A lot of people see job postings and don't go apply for the job. A lot of people will not and now I'm going back to myself, they think that I'm crazy because I rode my bike 20 miles to a job that was paying me $15 or $12 an hour, and then rode 20 miles back home. People aren't going to do these type of things because they're, again, soft and lazy. And there are people who, even these things might be online. You put part of the website on here. There are people who will not go online and type in the information to look for it because they're simply not ambitious enough. They just won't do it. So it's not really about who's going to be chosen first. There may be a memo that goes out. People might have somebody come up to the door and knock on their door. There might be these folks who are going around telling people about reparations, going to door like the Jehovah's Witnesses and telling people about it. But how many will take the opportunity to go do it? I'm not so sure. That's the question of whether or not who they're going to choose first. They can choose anybody, but who of those are going to take the opportunity? Now, a lot of people would jump at the chance to get free money if that's what they think it is, right? But it's more about whether or not people have it in their character to do anything about it, because we all have opportunities. And yes, again, I know that there are a lot of communities that don't even know about anything. There are a lot of communities who don't have the internet. There are a lot of people who are illiterate. And yes, there are a lot of those things that may have been done on purpose to hold people down by not getting that information to them. But again, what if the information was? What if things were equal all around the world? You can see that there are people in communities. There are people who go to the same schools. There are people who are in the same neighborhoods. There are people who watch the same programs. In the book, The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Wattles points out that you can have people who are born in the same neighborhood, live next door to each other, go to the same school, get the same education, but you take two people that have the same things all equal. One of them will be rich, and the other one will remain subjugated and in slavery of some kind, because that's the way that some people are. And Earl Nightingale in The Strangest Secrets points out that 95% of the people will remain in a lower position in life given any opportunities, because they're just simply not going to do it. And that's why 95% of the world are the way they are, and that there's a so-called 1%. So to that question, who are they going to choose first? I don't know if that's necessarily the right question. They can choose anybody. They can choose any group. But who in that group, what percentage of that group is going to take advantage of it? Probably only 1%. 1 to 5%.
That's a good spread, I would say, because who would take advantage of that? That is so true. So even still back with the reparation and saying that, how will it be done? Meaning, maybe you were on when I was talking about my son and I, we were thinking about ways and how this will be done, because you're not really saying how it would be done. So we thought about, my son and I, we thought about maybe it could be done in the form, the reparation could be done in the form of loan forgiveness, full scholarships, grant, and company startups. What do you think about that?
I think that all of that is interesting and maybe partly good ideas to give people things. But again, we have affirmative action, right? And people being given opportunities to go to schools with different qualifications and whatnot. But again, we would have to look at what percentage of those people are actually taking advantage of these things. How many of the people who are benefiting from affirmative action or anything like that, how many of them are actually taking advantage of it and changing their lives for the better? And then those who do, are they like I said about the religious folks who go door to door and tell people about the salvation that Christ may bring them? How many people close the door on Jehovah's Witnesses? You know, how many people close the door on any opportunities? Slamming the door in the face of opportunity is something that people do for whatever reasons that they do it. So you can give people student loan forgiveness. You can give them scholarships. You can give them whatever it is you want, you can. But the thing is the poverty mindset. The thing is the slave mindset. The thing is people, again, just not taking the initiative. You can give all those things. That's good. You can even go around and do it automatically. You can say, okay, look, these people are the descendants of slaves, and these people are still surviving slaves, or people who still survived from all of the horrible things that happened in America to who were being lynched and burned and wiped out and subjugated and enslaved and imprisoned falsely and all these different things. You can free all those people. You can give people whatever it is you want, but how many of them are going to take advantage of their newfound freedom? And then, even more so, again, I must repeat, how many of them then will go ahead and attempt to go around and educate others? And you know, it's bothering me, I'm not remembering the word. What are people called when they go around the world and they want to help people find out about Christ or God? Not crusaders, not
evangelist.
Maybe evangelist, but there's another word that I'm looking for. Maybe it'll come to me.
Apostles? No, that's not right.
Yeah. I forget, but that's the whole point. Once again, is the best, my somewhat educated and informed opinion here is that the best way to approach this is widespread communication and dissemination of this information to let everybody know what the advantages that they have are. You see, there's a lot of advantages that I missed myself in life because I did not know that these things were even possible. When I did find out about things, I did start to take advantage of it for myself, but that's the point, is that people first have to know. But I'm still circling back around that once you do know, how many will take advantage of it? It still comes back to this. The best way to go is to make sure that everyone with no uncertainty knows what is available to them. In no uncertain terms, people must be told that what is available to them. And I could say that a lot of people do know what is available to them. And again, going back circle, this is just going to be a big circle for me, but those people who do know what opportunities and advantages there are for them, no matter what they're giving, no matter what reparations, no matter what way is being told to them that they can do things and change their lives, a large percentage of them are still not going to do anything about it, and a large percent of them are going to just squander whatever is given to them, because it's not about how much you make or how much you're given, it's how much you keep and how much you know how to invest and turn it back around, how much you're able to sustain it. It's the sustainability factor, because yes, there's people who win the lotto and then end up being poor, like Reggie Woodson said. And no, I didn't hear when you were on with your son. I only came in because, like I said, I just woke up. I was driving all last night, and so I came in only to right before he came on for the second time. And so it's about people knowing. That's the best we can do. The best we can do is inform everyone. But we can't make people take advantage of it. A marketing guru named Dan Kennedy speaks about this in a small way to business. He says, I can give people the best training. He said, it's my job to create the best products, to create the best services, and to be the best marketer, to sell it to people and get it to them and get it in their hands, to let them know about it so that they can buy it. But I cannot make them take the shrink wrap off. So you can make people aware, but how many of them are going to open the box? How many of them are going to go in and do the work? And we can already see that many people will not. Just in my own personal life, again, about the advantages and opportunities that were presented for me, I take them. I see a way to change my life, and I have. And my sister and I had a discussion of this yesterday about how I've been here for the time that I have been, and I'm doing better than most of the people around me in this short time of a year and a half that I've been here, because I took the initiative to do it. Because I didn't even listen to her when she said I shouldn't be riding my bicycle 20 miles for $12 an hour and 20 miles back and all these other things that I've done. But I did it, and now I'm so much better off because I took those advantages, because I did those things. And so it's not about whether or not people know or not. That's the best we can do. We can let them know. But again, some people just ain't gonna do shit.
Woo! You got it. A mouthful. Thank you, Hakeem. Thank you so much.
And yes, missionaries. Thank you very much, David Beckemeyer. Missionaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so you can have missionaries go around and inform people, but they still, no matter what missionaries you have going around telling people about things, they won't do it. So thank you, Ellen. I'm very curious what people would have to say coming after me, and if anyone has any responses.
I hope they do.
Anything that I've said.
This has been very knowledgeable and enlightening, but that's the real truth. My son wasn't on, but I was just talking about how he said that giving money and the way we blow money and no, we don't have anything to do with how they spend it.
Thank you, Ellen.
But squandered stuff is there. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Hope to see you sometime before the end or during the end of the month, Hakeem. Looking forward to meeting you at the bookstore. Oh, two wonderful talks, Wood and Hakeem. I'm going to sprinkle some love in here to the folks that I hadn't named. And David Beckmeyer, thank you for dropping that in there. I see Lois Hampton. Hampson, I see you there. Who did I not name? Look like I've named everyone in the feed. Thank you guys for all being here. I think that might be... Let's see, is it? Yes, Dr. Robert. Been waiting in the wings for a while. Thank you, Dr. Robert. Come on in. It's always amazing to talk with you as well. I had an all-male cast. Good morning.
Good morning. Really, it's been a really great talk, and I was talking with Greg on the back end yesterday, and one thing came to mind. Someone was saying about selling the house and taking all of it was ratchet, all of the black stuff out of the house and stuff, and they sold the house for more.
Yeah, what he was saying today, yeah.
Yeah, and but when Denise and I bought this house, I was out in the yard, wrecking and doing stuff out in the yard. No, I just dressed, looked like a worker. White guy pulled up and said, "Oh, somebody bought this house, huh?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Is the owner here?" I said, "I am the owner." He said, "Oh, okay," and pulled on off. I said, "Oh, talk to the owner." Yeah, so it was,
wow.
Yeah, so
that
was my thought. Like, well, I thought he wanted to talk to the owner.
We still getting that. We're still getting it. What do you think? You've been here for a moment, waiting in the wings, and now you're up here. What do you think about this conversation of California reparation panels? And did you hear some of the things that Wood and Hakeem was saying? And what Wood and I was saying that, we're a different type of thinker. We're not the stereotype thinker. We're free thinkers. And sometimes we, meaning we people of color, get upset if we don't think all the same in general, not as whole, in general, because you can't say all black think the same way, but we do have some of the stereotype things that is almost across the board, but you can't say all, but some. So with saying that, and you heard the things I talked about, Hakeem, let's just start with him. He's talking about that if they were given these reparations, what about giving the knowledge? And would they go seek out the knowledge? And would they, if they knocked on their door, like Jehovah's Witness or Christian missionaries or whatever, will they open up the door to the opportunities that is set before them? What do you think about that?
All our ancestors and the ones that said 1 out of 100, 20% of them people are going to get it. And they are already in the 80s. And since they're going to take 2 years and all this here virus and stuff going on, 10% of them people's not going to be around. So they're going to want to give it to the other 10%. And 5% of them people's going to be incoherent. So, so they only going to give out 5%.
That's something to think about. Okay, I'm going to just go down to the bullet points that I have here. I'm not looking at your time, but still keep track of your time because I'm going to be asking you bullet point, and I'm staying on the other screen where I can just stay there instead of going back and forth, okay?
Okay.
So one of the things I want to talk about, and I'm going step by step from the website that I'm looking at. One of the things they talked about, the Oakland, California Reparation Task Force, they voted on Saturday to approve recommendation on how the state may compensate and apologize to Black residents for generations of harm caused by discriminatory policies. Let's just break this up. Let's just kind of break this conversation up in pieces. When they talk about apologizing, what do you think that would look like? And this is all our narrative. We don't know. We're both Black. We're just the Black listeners. So when they say apologize for generations of caused by I can't even say it. Get it together, Ellen. So I just said it. Discriminatory policies. And those policies, we have to first know what they are. And so we know they have systemic things in those policies, like we remember, you can remember some of yours, that it's still mine too because it's passed down. One of the things was the red line where we could live. Are they apologizing for that? Let's just talk about some of those things, those policies. And I'm going to go to my friend Google to look up more of those discriminatory policies. Let's go with that one first. Red line.
Accept the apology within yourself. Because all the things that didn't happen is...
Wait, say it again because you kind of broke up. I want to hear what you're saying. Say it again. Accept what?
Accept the apology within yourself. Because of all the things that have went on, there is no apologetic for doing stuff repeatedly, and knowing that you are messing someone over, but you're going to continue to do it, and now you want to apologize and make a payment. No, it's the same as you working for someone, and when payday come, they buy a box of ice cream and give you a bowl of the ice cream. That's your payment.
So we're going to pluck out some more of this. So I looked it up, the discriminatory practices. So we're talking about race and ethnicity. How can they apologize? You can't apologize. This is me talking. This is me. I don't think you could apologize for that. I'm Black. I was born Black. You can't apologize for that.
You can't. That's right. That's what I was saying. You can't apologize for all the stuff, Black or white. You cannot apologize for that because it's something you deliberately did. It's just like, hey, you shoot somebody. It wasn't an accident. You pointed the gun and shot them. Well, that's what they kept doing to us over and over. I mean, just the idea of me going in a library and the librarian directed the Black peoples to the books with the pictures in it, but not the book with with the language in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, and they kept up not only the pictures, but the book with the pictures in it, but it was the like the third grade, first grade, and even though I'm in the 6th and 7th grade, they still want to give us, show us that example, of how life goes,
True. I'm still looking in that vein of what we're talking about. And so here's some more apology. When they say religion, religion, age, sexual orientation. Now that is kind of lumped into me because we didn't have a problem of sexual orientation, just being Black. You're going to be either male or female, but sexual orientation, identity, gender identity, they lumped that in with apologizing. So I don't think that was a part of us. Maybe somebody think that was a part of them during that time of that discrimination that they want to apologize for. I see they say family status. I can see that where you put people of color in a certain area. A project is what we call. I lived in the project coming up in Chicago in the suburbs, and in the project you had a certain class of people to see how they thrive. It was just to see how it was a project, and then it became a way of life. So the family status they want to apologize for. Disability, medical, or genetic conditions. This is all in the personal. I'm just reading what's from here. I'm not making anything up, reading from the line. And so I'm just going to go down there to the things. Here's one of the things. This means that advertisers must not use our audience selection tools to wrongfully target specific groups or people for advertising. So they're going to go all of that. So you have to kind of look up. I've just went a little piece of that. And now I'm going to go back to the other screen where they looked at a little piece of that, talking about some different policies. So they have to know first, Dr. Robert, what are the discriminatory policies? We don't know what that is.
I do.
They have to look in there and see that.
I do.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us what the discriminatory policies are.
Not keeping up with the Joneses.
Are there any more?
Like my father said, not keeping up with the Joneses, meaning that because someone else got something, doesn't mean you have to get it. Even the same job or the same car. So the idea of having your life and living your life for yourself, and knowing what you are willing to have for yourself, not what someone else have that you think you can have. I mean, just think about how many Black people go and run up their credit card because they got a credit card, and then all of a sudden they don't have the money to pay the bills, and then the next thing you know, they paying interest on the late charges. And so the bill never get paid off. It could be their house, it can be their car. It never get paid off because they paying interest. And so.
One of the things too, what we talked about yesterday, that when I was talking to Greg Tate, is are they going to, like in this reparation thing, again, like Hakeem said, they could package it and put it anyway. It's up to us to look at that. If they would give us a literacy package, let's first start there with, knowing what's going on and what's happening. One of the things that you may have heard me talking about earlier too, Hakeem, is those things, maybe they want to give money. What do you think about, and this putting you on the spot, on the hot seat too, what do you think about those reparations being in the form of money?
It'll be nice. I mean, that's the bottom line of it, but they're going to put it in so much red tape, in which they already have. In 2 years to decide, So just think about what's going to happen in the 2 years. Is the person that made that statement going to be still around? No.
Wow.
Is I still going to be around? No. So, and it's just a handful of people are talking about it, And so, and then they going to make the decision to do whatever they're going to do with the rest of the world.
Wow. And you'll have people that say, okay, well, you have other people out there. And so why are these reparations going to the blacks? And we understand it. But then my sister was telling me that if there are going to be reparations given, this is just her own personal opinion, that, and Hakeem say, they'll figure out those groups or whatever. But she's thinking that the natives will get it first. That's who would get it first before blacks, the native. And we kind of all mixed up. We are all melting pot and things like that. But this conversation is something to ponder over. I just saw it in the media and I just figured I would grab this because it is a sticky situation to talk about reparations, some that has been talked about 400 plus years. And now we're still talking about reparation. We're still talking about it. We're still here with the systemic things. We're still here with now that we have the media where we can see things exposed close up and in person, where we're viewing videotape, we're viewing things, and it's still not the truth when the truth is written right there on videotape. So I only thing I can say for myself when it comes to the reparation, I'm not saying I'm not looking for that, but I'm not looking for that. I'm living my black life, not trying to live. I'm trying to live while being black, as they say, but I am not going to apologize for being black. Neither do I think a white person should apologize for being white. It's the skin that we in, and we need to embrace each culture. So the biggest robbery in America is self-identity, and it is embracing one's culture instead of borrowing it, instead of stealing from one culture. It's just borrow and learn from the different culture. And I think that's what makes us beautiful, the diversity that we have, instead of just trying to make one feel that we could borrow or we could steal what you do, and we could almost own that it is ours. But I don't think we need to do that.
Yeah. I mean, like I have on my book subtitle, Learn, Unlearn, and Relearn the Basic of the Relationship that you are in with yourself. Knowing who you are, and doing you first. That will give other people the opportunity to see what you have, and then they want your support, want your help. If they are willing to do it themselves, but their hand is always out, and they are waiting till you waiting on the first for you, then the best thing for you to do is going on about your business. And that's one, and that's one of the things I said to my cousin. She said, "How did I get out of Arkansas?" I said, "I just didn't look back. I did to get from back to that."
You were in that real rough time. I'm going to ask you a question. This is your own opinion, a question directed to you. As a people of color, or as a person of color, how do you think that you would move about in this day, society, this narrative, this talk, this whisper of respiration? Are you waiting? Are you moving forward, moving about being black and living in our society?
I look at it like this. Expenses off the top, 50-50. The first expense is me. The second expense is my bills. The third expense is my savings account. So I come first. So regardless of what the world is doing, I think of me first.
Put on your own oxygen mask. For me, living about being a Black woman, being Black, I don't have to apologize for being Black, as I said. And I am moving about being Black, but not focusing on because I am Black, this, that. But I do know that my fight for being Black is probably a fight that others see from me. It's not a fight for me to fight to be Black. I'm already Black. So the thing that I need to do is, like others were saying, especially Wood and also Hakeem and yourself, is to keep that knowledge, understand who we are as a people. And we're not all going to think the same. And the stereotype and the narrative, it is not me. I find myself as a human being first. That's what I want them to look at. I want them to say, hey, you're Black, but first you're human. But we're not getting that. We're not seen as human because we were brought over as cattle. Some people don't think that Black people are human. I remember in school that folks thought we had tails. Black people have tails. Some of us might have a tailbone that hang out further than the other, but it's not a tail like a dog or any of those animals that have tails. So they spend their time wondering if we have tails. They spend their time wondering, is my hair, why does it stand up? Why is it so nappy? Why is those inquisitive things about it? We did a play over the weekend. Ro Brady, she did a play, and it is to this day a fight in Hattiesburg, Pennsylvania, about passing a law so that our hair will not be discriminated. We got to see in this day and time where a young man was wrestling and his coach told him you could win better if you cut your hair. His hair was cut there. There was a Black guy getting ready to graduate. They wanted him to cut his hair. He could not graduate if he didn't cut his hair. I think that was lost. That battle was lost, meaning that he got a chance to wear that cap and gown, and he got a chance to graduate. And so those superficial small things, it is my dream as a Black person to first be human, to be kind to others, and just to live my life being Black in the vehicle, the skin that I'm in, and to be kind to one another. Reparation is out there. I'm not going to hold my breath for it, but I'm just going to continue to live about in this life with my family, my children, my immediate family, and those that I come in contact, whether you white or Black. I'm going to make that experience, your experience with me, be the best experience that you have, to be the best human experience that you would ever have. That is my take.
I heard that, because first me waiting on any kind of payment, if I walk out to my mailbox, and it's a check there with my name on it, I'm gonna take it to the bank, and deposit. But I'm gonna deposit.
I'm gonna deposit it. I'm gonna run and make sure it's real. Make sure I don't have to pay no taxes back. Probably have to take some taxes out. I want to try to find out what if I spend this, what is it going to cost me?
Well, that's off the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is it going to have a perforated dotted line that say that I'm Black? Is this check going to say that I'm Black? And you have one of those reparation check? This is just me, Ellen, the narrative of my own. What will this check look like? Will it say coming from the government, apology of discrimination, and signed on the dotted line, and that it is signed, and it is where you can feel those bubbles on the check that is authentic?
Yeah. And what about all the mixed generation, which 95.5% of the people in the world are today? Now, what Black peoples are they going to give them to?
Right. Is it going to be mulatto? Now that what percentage of you are black? Are you fully black African Mandingo black? Or are you biracial with different? Ooh, you opening up some worms.
Yes, my grandfather's from Africa, Geechee Africa, and my grandmother is Cherokee. She was born in Arkansas, but her her mother. Not right. Her mother and father was Indian, and she married my grandfather, which is African.
Wow. And did you say? I think I remember that either your mom or someone or grandmother looked white.
Oh, Creole. She is Creole. Yes.
Your mother?
No, my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Yes. Well, truthfully, at an early age, my grandmother, mother, and these two white ladies was all standing there beside this car. And until Mom pointed her and Grandma out, they just were like two white women.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thought she was a little white girl. But she said, no. And I kept looking and said, yep, that's you. Huh?
Wow.
Yeah. Only thing different was her hair was not quite, it looked more like an Indian because that's what she was, Creole Indian. And it was black and straight. Just like an Indian. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Dr. Robert, this has been an amazing talk, always with you guys. Thank you, 39, for being in the room. This is always amazing. I thank you guys for coming in the room. Thank you for the replay. Thank you for the high five. Thank you for just coming past. I truly thank you guys. Tomorrow is the 10th, so I may come on tomorrow, but I will be seeing my mom in Chicago, my 88-year-old mom, enjoying some time, hugging on her. This new journey that she had, I'll be out there, so... I'm looking forward. I missed those days that I just came back from. That was my supportive vacation, if you will, on seeing that play about hair discrimination. And so I don't know what tomorrow's talk may be, but certainly this has been an enjoyable talk here. We're going to come back probably at the end of the month or next month, finishing up with Cicely about our parentification. We got to pull that back out.
Okay.
There's more to that topic.
Yes.
Anything you want to end us with, a takeaway as it relates to the California reparation panel?
Well, both. I want to say, yes, a lot of the stuff that I was sent you yesterday related to Cicely talking, and as well as Greg, and the two topics really fit, together on a level of communicating straighter with each other instead of beating around the bush. Yeah. So
I'm glad you find that. Anytime you find any articles or anything or anyone on here that you would like for me to discuss, and we can discuss together and just look at the backdrop coming straight from that, and then our own personal opinions. Again, we're not doctors, we're not philosophers, we're not claiming to be a psychologist in any way. We're just two human beings discussing topics in our own narrative.
Right, and I teach on the basis of descriptive versus on prescriptive, and descriptive mean that it's stuff that I have experienced myself. Mm-hmm. So I tell you more about how I did it and the experience from me versus on giving you a prescription and saying, oh, try this here way and it might work for you.
That's good. That is really good. Dr. Robert, when is your book coming out? And will you
I'm gonna send you the manuscript next week, this weekend.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome sauce. Can you put in the subject heading manuscript so I can see? Because I got a lot of mail that I could clean up. I'm ashamed to say 1,100 plus.
We're going to mail you a hard copy.
Okay. Okay, good.
With questions. Good. Yeah, with our questions and then questions you create, yourself after reading the book.
Awesome. Yeah. That's going to be great. That's going to be great. So is it going to be a physical book or is it going to be an ebook?
Both.
Okay. Because I know I ordered it as well, so maybe I might have two. So I ordered it. It was it 99 cents? It was something. It was a pre-order.
Right, yeah. Well, you order the book, you get the talk part, as for helping out, So
okay.
You get the hard copy and the audio.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And do I need to, is this mailed to me like to my physical address?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So did I give you my address already and I'll email you that?
Okay, I do believe we do have you physical address.
Okay.
But yes, let's make sure.
But if not, let me know. And okay. Congratulations to you, Dr. Robert, in your upcoming book. Give us the name of it again, the title.
Unaware of your awareness. And it's how I got over being dyslexic and all the other resistance and flourishing to being a doctor versus living under the bridge, in and out of jail.
Very well said. Good dropping of the mic. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day, Dr. Robert. Looking forward to working with you on your project. You and your wonderful wife. 40 in the room. Thank you so much for closing this down. Christine, thank you for coming in. New to me. And also I see you, Harry Cameron Allen. Thank you for coming in the room. Terry, thank you. Elizabeth McClung. Let's see. Others I have named. Jason, I see you here. TaylorMade, I see you there. David Backmeyer, thank you so much for putting that in the back channel for us. And others I have named. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you for coming over in the talks. Tomorrow talk, I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I am going to be headed out to see my 88-year-old mama. I love on her, hug on her, and just enjoy those moments with her. So I won't be doing any lives or talks then, but I will certainly be gathering up conversations. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you, Daryl with the dashes. And thank you, the creator, for this app, Dale. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to bring my shows here. Have an amazing day. Stay safe. Stay well. Take care, everybody. But don't forget, on the 25th of May, we will have a live show on the 25th of May. We will talk to author Brian W. Smith. His book is titled Mama's Lies, Daddy's Pain. This book will be about child support. You have the character here, Jamal Simmons, and his daughter Jada. He's emotionally and financial needs. He helps her with homework. He is in a custody battle, but he keeps his daughter over the summer. But his payment, child support payment, $1,000 a month, nearly $1,000 a month. So this is based upon a true story, and we will unfold this story on here, on this channel. Thank you guys for being here. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Have an amazing day. And remember to recap, my main opinion on this is that you can give people all the information about what they need to do. You can even give them material things like money and scholarships and all kinds of other things to get started. But how many will be successful with it? That's the main point that I've made here, is that if all things being equal, you're still going to have the 1%.